Right in here, 1 second. Do. Let's see. One more click here. Okay. All right, good stuff. All right, well, awesome. Good. All right, good stuff. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So today, guys, we're gonna be starting a little series this week called "What's Setting Up for Tomorrow," and this is a little something. It's kind of profiling a little bit of our work that we do in the bubble report. And one of the things that we do in the bubble report, which is our morning report, is we added something new there, especially for folks that just signed up for the Bill Reporter who are tuning in here too. We added a section at the bottom called the action names. And so I kind of want to talk about that, and also just how we look at those intraday, and why we put those in the list, and pretty much how they perform a little bit. And so I kind of want to go one of those, try to go over like one of those each night here this week, so you can kind of see what's setting up for tomorrow. What we look at in the bubble report is kind of stuff that we provide for our members that they're able to use in to their advantage, and learn from. So good stuff there. But like we said, everything we're going to talk about, and everything that we talk about, is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Grab a sip of tea. Awesome. Good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the market here today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening, and then we'll go through the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so SPX, guys, yeah, down about 22 points here today. So kind of like a day today. It was okay, but it did give some opportunities, right? So as we know, this never-ending wave, right, since the Corona crash has been continuing to work its way up. You know what's really interesting about this monthly chart, I pointed out this weekend, is that it's very possible that this move up right here is a wave 1. This is your wave 2. We're in the middle of a wave 3. Then we'll get a wave 4, and then a wave 5. Like, so we could literally just keep going up, right? If you just look at the monthly wave count right here, it's pretty amazing. But we'll see how that goes. Weekly chart, guys. Again, it's kind of interesting as well. We're an inside week right now, which means we're kind of chopping, right? So a couple things right here is that we did close over the upper Bollinger Band here on the weekly chart. We did get an overbought level right here on the RSI. So sometimes, especially with bearish divergence, that could lead to a pullback. So we're going to see if that gets started right here. But we've seen it a lot where you stay over the upper Bollinger Band and you're overbought for a while, right? So I mean, here we were overbought for since September through January, right? So October, November, December, January, so 4 months, right? And then here we were over the upper Bollinger Band here early on, and then it looked like it was going to pull back and just went sideways. We were up here later on, and then we finally pulled back to the mid Bollinger Band, right? So this is kind of an example right there that just because those scenarios are being met doesn't mean that this is necessarily a short. And the reality is, right? The reality is that we don't know, right? I mean, we've got our wave count right here, and this wave count has been really, really tricky, just in terms of its how impulsive it's been, and yet how low volume it's been too, and just kind of groggy on the way up. And yet you look at it and you're like, whoa, that thing was really impulsive, right? Well, intraday it's been like, okay. Especially when you get caught, in something like here, you're like, all right, so you get the wave triangle, and then the next wave up, you can see how just kind of choppy and grindy that was, and then it just pushes up at the end of the day, that type of thing. And so today was interesting. Today actually gave a little bit more action, a little bit more fun, and so this gave us some good short opportunities at the open today. We pointed out Tesla on the short side, we pointed out SPY on the short side, so that gave us some good opportunities. Are we fully bearish on this market? Not really. I mean, we kind of bounced to the close, and this wave is really interesting, right? So we got this 1, 2, right? We got this kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, and this could be wave 5, right, ish, and this could be wave 4, and this could be working on another one. I mean, it's possible. This is 1, 2 of there's so many different bullish wave counts on this. It's tough, right? So basically, we're just waiting to see if once we things really start to pull back. Now, this could be it. It could be done up here, right? Because this could be like a 1, kind of a sideways 2, right? 3, 4, 5, and now we're looking at an A, B, C wave down, and we might get back down to this triangle. But in the meantime, kind of still leaning bullish, but we'll see how it goes. And again, like I said, we can go 3, 4, 5, and then we get our pullback, right? So it's getting a little bit interesting there. Anyway, let's stay with the futures and see what we've got going on here this evening. So we're up about 3 points here. So again, the chop continues going into today. So it was like we said, there was a little bit of fun at the open, and there was a lot of chop at the end of the day, and they ripped it. Looks like right here, right at the last 15-minute candle. It was with a big push right there, just to make things interesting. And actually, it's kind of looking like a little bit of a harmonic right there. So if we go to the if we go to this. You kind of get that pull, yeah, right off the 618 right here. So it could be interesting. It could be a 1, 2, it could be 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and continue to work our way back up. And we'll see if we get to like a 1.618 extension of this tomorrow, which is kind of an interesting level. So that's here, so basically back up to the 4166 level, so pretty much back to the scene of the breakdown. So we'll see how that goes here into tonight. Not, right now the volume is pretty low, so we'll see where it goes. But good stuff there. So that being said, just keep an eye on these geometric lines here going into tonight, and then we'll go from there. So let's see. So we get this here, this here, this here. So again, we've got a couple levels above, right? You got a geometric line right here. See if we break above that, get going. Otherwise, chop in between. So good stuff. All right, so good. So let's take a look at the topic here. So tonight we're going to talk about what's setting up for tomorrow. Before we do that, I want to show you what we gave to our Bubble Report members and what was setting up for today. And so anybody who's not a part of our Bubble Report, guys, $5 a week, right? So this is a great morning report here. It comes with an extended version of our Good Morning Market Prep video here on YouTube, and it's a really, really cool publication that we put out there that gives you basically just about everything you need to start your trading day, right? Whether you work full time or you trade full time, it really is helpful just to kind of give you a good snapshot of the markets. You don't have to look around everywhere else. So what we do is obviously, right, we have all these different topics on here. We look through we do an ES game plan. We look at things that are gapping, unusual option activity stuff. But we kind of started off right here with stuff that's interesting, right? So we got our top headlines here for the days. You don't have to go scouring around for what's moving markets this morning, things like that. And of course we get into that later. We give a snapshot of the futures, see how things are looking here. So really cool stuff. But what I wanted to kind of hone in on here today is the action names. So this is a section that's really towards the bottom right here before we get to our game plan. I just want to kind of show this to you here. Here's Paul. He has his wave counts on here. Tiger was a great one here today. Very, very nice push there. And we got our action names. Okay, so the action names here, we put these out in the morning, and basically what we're looking for is just names that have kind of been moving recently and they just kind of stopped here for a little bit. They just took a little bit of a break, and it's really hard to tell which way they're going to go, right? So we feel like they're going to move one way or the other, right? So we kind of give this big push up here at AMD, kind of paused here for a little bit this day. So it's like, okay, is it going to rally-based rally? Or is it going to be a rally-based drop? So what we do is we provide the levels when we find names like this. We provide the levels here. Okay, well, if it's strong, which means if we get some good volume on a nice candle, right? So obviously using trading tactics and risk management and all that stuff. In this case here, over 82 and a quarter, it looks like that it could get to 83.50, right? And here in this case here, if we break down below 81.50, looks like we can move about a point. So I kind of want to just highlight that one here today. We also had laser. That also ended up working out really well here today, but AMD ended up working out great this morning, right? So what do we say here? We said, once again on AMD, we said if we get a breakdown below 81.50. So let's take a look at AMD today. So it didn't really give a big push here this morning. It never broke above this candle right here, but what I really like about this is on the 5-minute chart, right? Where's that 81.50 level? So that 81.50 level is right here below the 15-hour below, right? So that's kind of like 81.50 right there. All right, so cool stuff, right? So we broke down below there with increasing volume here on the 5-minute chart, and what was the target on it? Oh, sorry, I didn't show that. Well, the target is 80.50. So here we go. So here's the level. Here's AMD. So we broke down below 81.50. The target, like we said, was 80.50. And you see just about in 5, 10, 15 minutes, right, that hit 80.55, right? And then it paused for a little bit. But I mean, goodness gracious, that's a great, that's basically the full move right there in 15 minutes. So this is really incredible stuff. It's basically things that we're looking at are going to make an action move. And we try to put levels out there for traders, so it's like that you can kind of look and just see how they're reacting to those levels. So that was AMD. So anyway, so that's the idea, and tonight we've got a few that are on the radar tomorrow. We don't necessarily get an action name every night, but we usually find one or two. I think we've got about 2 going in tomorrow. I need to double check them tomorrow morning, but one of them I think is going to be kind of interesting, and I wanted to share that with you guys tonight. So let's take a look at that here and see. So let's take a look and see what we've got. So tonight I'm thinking C. Okay, so City Financial. So this is a really interesting one, right? The XLF has been pretty wild recently. It's run up incredibly over the, along with City Financial, run up incredibly, right? And City Financial recently had some news, right? So you can see we had a big action day, right? A big move day right here. And then things just kind of started to calm down and get really tight again, right? So you can see even here today, we have an inside day, right? So it's kind of like a jack-in-the-box type mover. So what we're looking at on City for tomorrow is a potential break above, and we'll see how it goes. There's a potential break above this 72.50. We're going to look for strength above 72.50 to see if we can get a pop. And we're going to look to basically see if it can move a half a point, right? I mean, this is not a FANG name, right? So if this thing can move up to to 73, that would be pretty epic, right? So we're basically looking to get up to this level right here. I'm not saying, I want to say 72 and a quarter would be a little bit too. So anywhere in this range right here, even to test the prior day's highs, would be interesting here over 72.50. So that's one of the levels that we're going to look at for strength. Obviously in the group, when you're in the Discord, the bubble report just kind of gives you levels, to work with. We kind of map it out. You got to figure it out on your own if it makes sense. But in the group, on our live streams, things like that, and in the Discord, you can ask questions, and see what we're thinking about, see if it even makes sense to trade that day, right? Obviously, all educational purposes, right? So, but here, we're also looking to see if it breaks down below these lows, right? So that's a possibility here too, right? So if we break down below 72 with any sort of increasing volume, kind of take out yesterday's lows or today's lows, right? This thing might actually move to 71 and 71 and a quarter, right? So I know it's not amazing, but 71 and 3/4, sorry. So it might move basically to here, and then we're looking, if that breaks out even farther, we might get to 71.50, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at here on Citi, and of course it could move more. A couple other names that were on our radar recently, just so you can get an idea. Citi's not a huge mover, but Dash was on our radar not too long ago, and this gave a huge move here off of this day. See how tight it got right here? We were expecting it to make a move that day, and it blasted up, right? So, we find some really cool names out there, guys. It's a really cool feature that we just added to the bubble report. So my goal this week is kind of go through these with you, and then tomorrow night we'll check and see how Citi ended up performing, right? And no complaints, and all that stuff. But we'll take a look at it and see if it does. And if it doesn't work out, we'll talk about it and see why it didn't trigger. And if it does, we'll all high fives and all that stuff and be like, all right, let's see how it goes. So Citi Financial on the radar for tomorrow. And of course, we've got another one that is going to go in there probably for the bubble report in the morning. So anyway, good stuff, guys. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. So at this point now, if anybody's got any questions or chart requests, please feel free to play those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. So Shirley, sending a few in via email. So really appreciate that, Shirley. Hope you're doing well out there. So let's take a look. So we got a couple on the radar from Shirley. So let's take a look at Apple. So Apple is an interesting day today, right? So we actually had increased volume from the other day, and this thing's been getting really tight, right? It's been getting really tight. The ADMA hasn't quite caught up to it yet. I was kind of hoping to go a little more sideways and then go. But Apple had a big move recently, so it's kind of its first wave up right here. It looks like it's kind of chopping around right now. And today was actually a decent move. Was it easy? No. Apple was not easy today. Apple was not easy today. It was let me zoom in on this here today, intraday. I mean, it was like, it was all about the open, and then it just kind of held on, right? I mean, it was just, and then even shorting today was not easy. Okay, lower shot, just rough day today. So that opening candle, if you didn't catch it right here, this is such an important level for us in our group here. It was a nice dip by level right here on Friday. And it was a huge dip by level right here at the open today. So pretty cool stuff. One of our members pointed that out this morning, and very, very nice move. So Apple looking okay there. It's kind of an engulfing candle. Let's see if it continues to work its way up. See if it breaks over today's highs. Piton, guys, some rough news over the weekend. Gave it a gap down right here. Spinning top candle. We talked about the bubble report. All right, it's potential for reversal. It did give a little bit of a quick reversal here this morning, right? And then it gave a reversal later in the day. It's hanging in there. It's below the 200-day moving average. Spinning top. It is holding this geometric line. So the longer it holds this geometric line, the better it is for Piton. Don't forget, guys, these guys have been beaten on earnings, right? And they really came out as professionally as they could with the news here. And let's just kind of see how it goes. Eventually, this is going to probably be a big dip by name, but we'll see when it starts to set up. So good stuff there. Let's take a look at EXPE. Again, nice push right there. Again, lots of talk today about airlines, right? So UAL, I think, reported after hours, and they just missed. I mean, just a horrible earnings report. But I mean, they spun it so well after hours. It's still hanging in there. It's not down that much, but it's of course everybody thinks the airline's going to lose money. But they're really talking about like, hey, if everything's going the way it's going at the current trajectory, right? We'll be making money and making profit again, and so I mean, they did the best they could. So, but anyway, EXP, another travel name, so we're kind of seeing that type of stuff. See how it goes in sympathy with those names right here. CLOV. So it could be a pause day today. I'm not a huge fan of it, right? So anybody who's long on Friday, good job, right? You got a nice gap up here today. But I'd be really, really careful with these candles. Now, it could be a doji sandwich work its way up. I just don't like that upper shadow from Friday. So that's the only issue with that. If it was a strong breakout candle right here, this name really could have moved. But it was just more of like, just kind of like a quick short squeeze attempt type thing. So we'll see how that goes right there. And then MO just got hammered today. Just clobbered. Apparently there's some news out there that I think like the White House is talking about wanting to remove nicotine, like decrease the amount of nicotine in cigarettes. So that's what we're focusing on these days. So cool. So that ended up giving the cigarette company a big down move. But the only way you can really do that, right, is there's like, what is it, like WWII, or this, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, there's some name out there that genetically modifies plants, so tobacco, so it can have less nicotine in it. So there you go, GMOs for as if smoking's not bad enough. So anyway, so good stuff there. So keep an eye on that. See if they could buy the dip on this one. It was a tough name. It was a rough name. See if it holds a 50-day moving average. But it has had a big run up here recently. So let's see how that goes. Dylan, good stuff. Let's take a look at YUMC. So YUMC with a kind of an engulfing candle right here. Close below the ADMA and below the cloud. Increased volume. So yeah, definitely looking a little bit rough right there. See if it breaks below those levels, and if you get any more downside, you got some interesting levels below. The IPOE, guys, we talked about this triangle here recently, right? So it started to break down here, and then we're getting that follow through here below the ADMA. So it's getting that follow through. So now, where is it? It's right at this level right here, right? So see if that holds. If that breaks down, this is the next really kind of major level below. So definitely keep an eye on that one. Keep us posted on that. So good stuff there. And then Troop, say there's a Troopanion. So nice push right there. Again, spinning top-ish type move. And let's see if we can kind of do a doji sandwich up here. Maybe get the 200-day moving average in the next day or so. So that'd be cool. So good stuff there. Bob, what's going on? Good to see it. EXPE, great minds think alike. I love it. Shirley pointed this one out a little bit earlier. Again, big move right here. Again, let's see how it goes. Kind of heading into the next week, but a good strong candle today. Again, I like how it's kind of breaking above these levels. A little more volume would have been nice. Right, but let's see if it moves. See how like some of the other traveling type names, travel sector type names go after that one. Goldman Sachs, I love it. Great, I love this one. This is on my bullish radar for tomorrow too. I mean, really, the relative strength on this one was incredible. I'd like to have seen more volume, but what a dip buy on this one today. I looked at it, I was like, you gotta be kidding! Look at this thing go! Incredible dip by Goldman Sachs, right off of the ADMA too. So again, I would like to have seen a little more volume, but keep it on the bullish radar. See if it takes out those highs and it gets any more strength. LRCX, guys, we were bearish on the semiconductors going into the weekend. And we did get some follow through on a lot of these names. Nvidia was down, AMD was down, LRCX was down, another big name right here. This is a very, very, very tough name to trade. It's tough to trade with shares. It's tough to trade with options. Day trade, right? If you can get in on it like here and you can catch this run, right, because it likes to move $100 in a couple days, then it's pretty epic, right? But other than that, right, it's a little bit of caution. Now, this kind of nasty breakdown candle right here is below the 80 MA. Just be careful with earnings coming up. Premium is going to be a lot higher. And Shop, this is also on my bearish radar too. I love it. You're finding all the right stuff. A double inside day down. So again, we got a nice open gap below, and we got the 200-day moving average. This, as you know, is also a very difficult name to trade with shares and with options. It used to be okay. It used to be reasonable like a year and a half ago, and now it's just been like spreads, just like LRCX. Spreads are crazy on both the shares and the options. Makes it really, really tough. So good stuff. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Today felt so blah. It did. It was all about the open today. If you had to be just with us at the open, and we were pointing out Tesla, SPY. I mean, incredible short on SPY today. Nice short on Tesla. There were some other names too. Some folks pointed out that Apple long. That was a possibility to get in on. And I think there was a couple other names. DKNG was one somebody mentioned right at the open that ended up just blasting. That if you got in on the first 1 minute candle, was pretty incredible. But again, those are tough to catch sometimes. So if you don't catch those, right? We pointed out SPY, so there's plenty of time in that one. We tweeted it out in the group and all that stuff. But other than that, if trying to force things later in the day makes it a really blah day. So for sure, and it's tough. There's not a lot of setups going in tomorrow. So City Financial is okay, right? But that's if that's the best we're finding out there, it's kind of rough, right? So we got that going on. So let's take a look here. So Carnival, let's take a look. So Carnival. Yeah, look at that. So it kind of pulled back below the channel. We talked about this breakdown below the channel right here. So now it's kind of at the channel bottom, right? Prior channel right here from these guys, right? 50-day moving average. See if we can break back up there and see if we can get over the 8 EMA. So good stuff there. And then PLBY. Still not sure why this is a public company, but anyway, upper shadow right here and follow through the downside. Cool. Maybe it'll go all the way back down to zero. So good stuff there. See how it holds the 8 EMA on that one. So good stuff. Then NAS, let's take a look here. So CMG, let's take a look. So CMG had like a rough note on it today. I'm not sure if it did anything after hours, nothing. CMG is a very, very tough name to trade, but it did have a nice candle right here off of the ADMA, so let's see if we get any fall through the upside. And then Loco. So you're liking all the restaurant names, all the names, all the chicken names. I like it. So good stuff right there. Keep an eye on it right here. It's looking a little bit bear flaggish, struggling with the 200-day moving average, possible hanging man, breakdown below those lows. Could see some more downside. A little bit of caution there. Although it did bounce off of the ADMA, so we do have that too. So good stuff. Mitchell, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look. So Zoom, again, Zoom Zoom started out strong today. It really did. It was like, yeah, Zoom, let's go. Oh, no. right? So it's kind of a rough day on that one. So, but upper shadow here below the 80 MA. So see how it holds the lows of the day. If it breaks down there, right, it might want to come down and see like that 314 level. So just kind of keep an eye on there on Zoom. So again, rough. If Piton's down, right, kind of similar sector type stuff. So keep an eye on that there. DKNG Epic at the open. So if you're out there, great find on that one here this morning. Beautiful, beautiful launch here today. Let me show you guys what it looked like on the 1 minute chart. This is incredible. Beautiful move. Right off that strong 1 minute candle. If you can get in right there, these went from like I think like $1.20 to like $1.70 or something like that in like 2 minutes. We like to get paid by the second, right? So we go with that there. Anyway, DKNG interesting, and then it pulled back, right? So it's just kind of actually technically, right? This is a bearish setup right here because we closed below the trend box with increasing volume. I'm not a huge fan of the lower shadow. At this point here, I would wait to see if we break down below those lows. If we do, right, we got a bunch of nice levels below that could get tested, right? So these are all looking very, very interesting there, okay? So keep an eye on that for DKNG. And then PLTR. So PLTR, I mean, just kind of is what it is right now. It's still holding the geometric line, right? So as long as it holds this, right, it could be okay. If it starts to break down below here, look out for PLTR. It stinks, but, they make cool stuff, and, is what it is. It would have been nice if they had a little bit of a beat on earnings. Who knows? Maybe next earnings report. So we'll see where we go from there. Good stuff. And tea, I got, basically, I know it doesn't sound like it, but I've got sleepy time tea, chamomile type stuff, just kind of, by the time I'm done with the live stream, kind of just mellow out and, get a good night's sleep so I can, so we can all get together and help each other out in the morning too. So good stuff there. Ron Futu, yeah, so big breakout candle today, guys. And then they did it after hours. Offering, right? So pretty nasty off of that one here, guys. This is why, and we've talked about it, I don't know, a million times, why we don't buy breakout candles, especially on the daily chart, right? It's beautiful, beautiful breakout candle. Now it's going to gap down. Now we want to see if we get a positive. Now, if we push above it, if we have some momentum tomorrow, right, this thing could really start to break out, right? Really start to move. We get a trade off of it tomorrow. Otherwise, let's see if it gives us a pause day or two and then see if it's ready to go. Otherwise, keep it on the radar for the next couple days. But definitely an interesting one to watch. In fact, I need to write that down to keep that on the radar. Good stuff there. Nice on Futu. And then Uber, guys. This is great. This is Paul's radar yesterday. Easily it's possible 1, 2, right, 3, 4, right, was kind of one of the possible counts on this one. So 1, 2, right, and it could be part of like a wave 3 right here. 4, we're right at the 382. So see how that holds. Back retesting the triangle high right here. Again, I really want to see some volume on this and see if we get going, but Uber is such a tough name. So let's see how it does. We're at the 50 movers. Maybe we'll just get some more sideways action. Maybe it'll kind of eventually drift back down here, and then it'll start going again. So look for some unusual option activity, see if there's anything going on behind the scenes. So good stuff there. So Troy, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So the bubble report is very extensive. Great info. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Bubble report is great. It really helps prepare for the day. Thanks, Bob. I really appreciate it. It's awesome. It really does, and it's got some great ideas there. Michael, thanks so much. Yeah, XXII is what I was talking about. Yeah, the genetically modified tobacco company or something. 22nd Century Group. So shady. So anyway, so that got a big bounce on that news here today, and it's up here after hours. Goodness gracious. So anyway. So good stuff. Auntie, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at Apple again. We looked at it a little bit before, but nice kind of engulfing-ish candle today. See if we can push over its highs and get some more strength. It was today was a good overall day, but it was tough intraday. Neo again, pure doji, right? Almost pure doji on this one. See how it holds. See if we can break out above this geometric line here and start making a move back up to the cloud. Tracy, what's going on? Good to see you. Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at Nvidia. Again, like I said, guys, we were bearish. We told our group that we were bearish on the semiconductors going into the weekend. And wow, did we get some follow through on that one. Inside day down with a gap, right? And then a push down here on Nvidia. It tried at the open. It tried. But there is no try, only do, right? So this thing ended up pushing its way down and getting below the pre-market lows. So it's right at the 80 MA, so let's see how that holds there for Nvidia. CRWD, oh, this one was a heartbreaker today. This thing was like, this morning, it was like, yeah, oh no, it's too high up, ah! So that was a tough day for that. So big upper shadow. It's got some work to do if it wants to get up there, but it did have a really, really nice push after a nice move up here. So let's see how that goes for CRWD going in tomorrow. And then Netflix, let's take a look. So Netflix again, guys, nice push here off the 80 MA. Looks like it's finished. It's kind of finishing up an initial harmonic move right here. You could look at it as potential kind of, shoulder, head, shoulder, right? We got, a good geometric line here on Netflix would be this. Right, look to see if we can break out of there. Look for a potential momentum move through there, and who knows, maybe it'll try to do it into earnings, which is it tomorrow? Yeah, it's tomorrow after hours on Netflix. So this will be very, very interesting to see if it can get going. So good stuff there. I like it. So Tracy, yeah, and Woof. Let's take a look. Woof, there it is. Let's take a look at Woof here and see how that's looking here today. Yeah, so Woof, nice breakout here, guys. This is awesome. We've been tracking this for a while. Wow, this is the first really nice stand. That Woof is very bullish, so definitely keep an eye on that one. See if it's ready to go. I love it. That's the first real decent move, except for this trend line breakout here, where it's starting to get going. Yeah, so let's see if it gets any more push on it. Nice find on Woof. So Michael, so IBM, yeah, earnings after hours, right? They crushed it, right? And then it's kind of back down here again. It's gonna have a lot tweezer tops right here too. It's got a lot of work to do going into tomorrow, and it's nowhere close. I mean, we're like here. This is 137, right? So we're at 130. We're right at that level here. If it could push over there, tomorrow morning, maybe. If it gets over the pre-market highs, but I mean, it is nowhere close to gap and go territory up here. So I mean, it could, but it's already pulled back a bunch. So a little bit of caution there off of IBM tomorrow, but definitely something to keep an eye on. It could be an interesting one. Sometimes it's good the second day. So if it doesn't move tomorrow, it might move Wednesday. So keep an eye on it. Sundial, nice. Good push right there. So the thing hasn't moved in a while, but when it did, it was great. Strong candle right here. It's got a lot of work to do, right? You kind of have this geometric line right here, so it's kind of touching that right now. But again, looking a little bit falling wedges, right? Type stuff. So let's see if we can break out of that range. So that'd be pretty cool. And then Doge is like... I'm doing me, boo. I know, right? Exactly. It's so funny, and I love this Doge. I'm totally holding. I know 420 is supposed to get a pump. I love it. I'm so excited about it. Like it's I've already paid for the Doge. I sold some Doge and paid for the initial Doge when we first talked about it. So it's all free right now. Let's go. Let's go to $1. Let's go to $10,000. Let's go to Mars. I can't wait. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes right there. Christopher, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at APPS. Let's see. So APPS breaking down below the geometric line right here. Increased volume. This is finally moving. It's finally doing something, right? So good stuff right there. This is the first real breakdown below this geometric line, but see if we can get a push down below these lows, see if things are ready to really go. So nice find in that one. And then Chewy. Let's take a look at Chewy. So guys, it's tough. This is one of Buddy's favorite names to trade, but he's finally figured out how to short. So it was looking a little bit weak going into Friday, and we did get some follow through on this one today, guys. Again, a lot of the stay-at-home names, guys. Zoom was down with Piton, and Chewy's down here too. Big down move on that name as well. No reason for it to be. Eventually, this dip will be viable on Chewy. This company's great. We ordered, twice we've ordered dog food from them, and the last time it got there in a day, free shipping, and it was like they didn't have it on Amazon, and I'm like, okay, these guys are great, and they're really nice, and like they're pretty cool. So anyway, so good stuff there on Chewy. See how it holds this geometric line right here. It might be an area for a potential bounce, so that could be cool too. Yeah, my pleasure, Chris. Thanks for tuning in. Siag, let's take a look at SPCE. So again, guys, this is one of the ones that we put out this morning is some dip buys, and it did do it right off of a couple of our key levels, right? So we the initial dip buy was here, right? So I just didn't get any follow through. Right? The next dip buy, this is another key level that we had, and then after that, we were just kind of like, we'll see where it goes. But I can't remember if that was a key level intraday, but pretty cool stuff there. It did give a couple bounces here off of our levels, but no real follow through. So, but good stuff there. Again, inside day down, see how it holds. Again, this name's just getting beaten up. So we'll see what happens. So good stuff there. PLTR we looked at. We'll take another glance. So PLTR again holding the geometric line, so see how that holds, and then ACIC. Alice Crest. Okay. Yeah, this thing looks like it was. I'm not sure what's going on here, Siak. This thing, I mean, it's basically as low as it could go. I mean, if it goes any lower, but look for a high volume candle breakout on this one. Let's see if it's ready. So good stuff there. So Jing Solo, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla here. So so Tesla again, guys. Rough day today. We shorted this at the open. I was expecting a reversal on it, but once we cleared the pre-market lows, I was like, let's go. Right, let's get some Tesla, and it's up after hours. Right, Elon Musk just said he's like, look, autopilot wasn't engaged. They didn't buy the package that would enable it to do this, or whatever, and like supposedly they modded the car themselves. So it's like at this point now, it's just like, all right, I mean, it sounds like sounds like everything's cool, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, obviously thoughts and prayers go out to those folks involved and their families. But the in terms of the chart here, guys, gap fill right here, right, and then kind of reversed off it. But he did give us a nice short at the open, so good stuff there. And then Roku, let's take a look. So Roku, okay, so guys, Roku, this is actually looking kind of scary. So this pullwave today makes this wave C looks like it's done. right? Now, I could be wrong. This could have just been like some sort of ABC pullback, but to me, it looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which to me would imply that we're in a zigzag down. And this looks like a clear ABC up. So now the real question is, are we in a wave 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5? And is Roku ready to do a zigzag, a second half down? If it did, right? If it did, right, we would look at this. So potential movement all the way down to that pivot level right there, which would be pretty incredible there for Roku. So keep an eye on that one. So good stuff there, Michael. Look, so sorry, Nvidia. Harami, Harami got down from previous lows right to the EMA. Nice, I love it. Apple bearish back completed on the 5-minute chart. Nice. Could be. Alex, what's going on? SPY. So we definitely reviewed the SPX at the beginning of the video, but really at this point, guys, it's just all about the wave count, right? I mean, when's this thing, how's the count going to go up here? I do like the doji reversal off the daily chart. I'm not super duper bearish yet. I mean, we're over the 80 EMA here still. We just kind of tagged below the first bump line on the SPX, so just keep an eye on it, see how it goes. And at this point now, just kind of, like I said, just still bullish, still proving otherwise. Now, a strong volume breakdown tomorrow with increased volume, right, might get me interested, right? So on a short side. Otherwise, it looks like more of the same so far. So good stuff there. James, MSOS. Let's say not SOS, but MSOS. So Advisor shares pure cannabis ETF for 420 tomorrow. Nice. Let's see if it holds right here, or let's see if they forget about it. So good stuff there. Louis, what's going on? Good to see you. How's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So Tesla we just talked about. So again, it's up after hours. So let's see if they can try to rally it off of that. Yep. So let's see again. We'll see where we're at in the morning. Definitely one we're going to be analyzing in the morning. So be sure to tune in here on YouTube because we that part of the Good Morning Market Prep video, I always review Tesla. So definitely check that out in the morning. MViz going back to the gutter. I love it. Yeah, inside day down, and it might have some more down. Just looking nasty in that too. So Prayer Kid, you're looking for a pop to 230 on the IWM. Yeah, so it's nice here. We're holding the cloud so far. So 230. Yeah, we could see a pop on this one if things get going. Right, so we got a nice tight range right here, right? So good. So let's see if we can pop above this range right here and get going here for the IWM. That would be great. So good find on that one too. Suyak, DKNG is on an ABC move to 52. ABC. Good. Well, let's go. Found out late on Friday, so no. There you go. Open. Let's take a look. So open, Tracy. Let's take a look. So open technology. Wow, nasty down move. Huge increasing volume. Just nasty. And then EXPI. EXPI. There you go, fingers. We can do this. So EXPI, yeah, definite down move right here. Tough to chase it at this point here, right at the 200-day moving average, right? So see how that holds. James, Wendy's, Burger Time. It went. Wow, look at that. You mentioned that recently. Look at this thing still going. I love it. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. The Nest, yeah, PetQ. That had some, I think they did a financial shelf or something like that. Anyway, some news on this one. But anyway, got a gap up here on this one. I like it what it did. It would have been nicer to see a green candle on this. But definitely keep an eye on those today's highs and lows going in tomorrow. And then Troop with the potential sympathy today could be, I'm not, again, the news is obviously, going to be different, right? But it looks like it's trying to make a little bit of a move here. Again, 200-day moving average, 50-day moving average, cloud. It's got some levels above to contend with. So we got it there. And then Chewy with the diamond. Nice. Yeah, I love it. So Michael, GMECU is stepping down and roaring. I know, wouldn't that be hilarious? Actually, you know what would actually really get GME ripping? Again, don't forget, guys, we called the crab pattern here first. If, what's the CEO? Cohen, the CEO of Chewy? If he, became the CEO of that company, that would just get things going. It would be crazy. So keep an eye out for that. That would be if that news happened, this thing would gap up like 100, maybe 200 points or so, and this thing could just go crazy. So anyway, keep an eye on that right there. But yeah, CEO stepping down, CFO stepping down. They just got crushed, right? So let's see how that goes there. But anyway, Christian, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's see the Netflix bear reversal. Got 5-day calls. It's really tough on this one. Netflix is not an easy name to trade at all. In fact, if you're new to trading too, I wouldn't even mess with it. I mean, this thing's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, red, green, red, green, red, green, 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 red, red, green, green, red. And this thing is so challenging, right? So, and you got earnings coming up too. So again, that's going to make the premiums rough. If anything, I would have looked into selling some premium if you were bullish on it. Maybe sell like a put spread, right, to collect some collect some premium as it heads into earnings, and then close the position after earnings, right? So or into earnings. So depending on which way it goes, of course, too. But at least bank some credit and then see what it does after earnings to look for a new position. But Netflix is really, really tough to trade. But yeah, Luis, thanks so much. Thanks for tuning in. And then Tracy, you got a lot tonight. Let's say you got Calyx. So Calyx, nasty doji reversal right here. I would like to have seen a little bit more volume, but nasty down move on that there too. And then the Nest. So you got the VMW on the yearly. I mean, just look at this thing here. I mean, just go to the monthly. Right? I mean, big push right here, right? Tight range right here. So far on the monthly chart, breaking out pretty nicely. Yeah, I mean, is there room? Yeah, I mean, within, a year or so, it could get there. Yeah, it's possible. Again, look for your wave counts, right? That's a pretty impulsive wave. Maybe the next dip buy is ready to go. See if it dips into earnings and then goes after that. So tricky, but definitely something to look at there. So good stuff, guys. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Oh, and then Muko of America, what's going on? Let's take a look at Amazonius. And see what I see right here. Yeah, so it gave an epic run up here, guys. Big upper shadow off of the same levels, right? Look at that. Dropped right here, upper shadow right here, upper shadow right here. It's got to clear that. Otherwise, it could be working on a kind of a cup, handle, and then see if it's ready to go. That type of thing. Okay? So good stuff. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. Hopefully you found this topic interesting. We'll keep an eye on City Financial tomorrow. We'll be looking at it in the group. And, of course, we'll have other ideas in the bubble report in the morning and, of course, in the Discord and on the live streams. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Stay healthy out there. And remember your risk first and stay safe.